Anyway, my cat just... I promise she's here. Anyway. I hope you can hear me. Luna, my darling, my sweetheart. My most darling beloved. Anyway. I have been clogging up my Instagram with just me talking. And I wanted to continue in a slightly different way, though. I wanted my girl. She's just here. I wanted my alters to also talk. Come here. And I wanted them to babble like me, because I like showing them off and I like being like, oh my god, I'm real, you feel? And also be like, these are my boos, you should love them because I love them. So my goal for the night, it is 12:30 right now. It's 12:30. I did my makeup like 2 hours ago for a cosplay test of Elle Woods, specifically from the musical. That's what the hoodie's for. It's like, oh, that's funny. Emmett said, give me back my hoodie, and I said no. Anyway, I completely detracted. The plan is for 25-minute, like, talk sessions, little vlogs. We're gonna be vloggers. After this video, my makeup will probably be washed off, which is kind of sad. Maybe Mark will keep it. Mark is cool. Mark might be like, eh. But Eric for sure probably wouldn't. I mean, he might. He just would look at himself and be like, who's that? So, yes, 25 minutes. I've already talked through 2. Now you know what I'm doing. If you don't want to watch this, then don't watch it. It's going to be me babbling for like 20 minutes. And then there's going to be another one. And it's going to be Mark babbling for maybe 20 minutes. I don't know if other people can babble like I can. And it's going to be Eric and maybe Damien. I thought about inviting Elliot, but his basic reply was, what the hell do I have to babble about? So, he could talk about alter rights. Tell a little story. Keep it in our little archive. But it's fine. It's cool. It's whatever. I really want to get a cookie. I'm not going to, but I want to. It's right over there. My cat is playing with the box that they come in, and I want it. Okay. So, I spent a majority of tonight talking about the masculine and feminine brain, cosplay. I spent an hour talking and I don't even remember what all I talked about. So, I'm kind of like, I have a whole hour of conversation that I just want to call back to, but I'm like, I can't. Not everybody on here. I mean, there's only like 30 of you, but not all of you are all up in my Instagram. So I'm like, okay, new topics. My drawer, nope. My drawer is protruding. I'm sorry. My DS. Okay. This is fun. Okay. So, yesterday? Yes. Well, technically 2 days ago now. I went out with my waifu. Her name is Sierra. She's my boo. We went out to go shopping. I got these really, really cute boots for $8. They're super cute. I would get them, but they're all the way over there. And it's just not worth standing. I have walked in them all day. They are like 4-inch heels or so. And I was on a college campus, and I don't have my car, so I was walking a lot. And I was standing a lot because I was in choir. Anyway, they're super cute, and I love them, but I don't want to stand and go get them. We went to Plato's Closet because we cheap and we thrifty. And she got a couple autumn, not costumes, outfits. And we went to we went to Texas Roadhouse. We went to PetSmart and we saw a bunch of kittens because they had a lot of them for sale. They had cats from 9 weeks, which was the smallest baby, and then they had a 5-year-old big boy that I loved. Love me some cats. You probably couldn't tell by the way I threw mine over the bed, but it's fine. So we went to the pet store, and I'm getting there. I completely forgot I was telling a story about my DS. Feminine brain. We went to Disc Traders, which is like GameStop, but for poor people. Not for poor people, but like it's like a secondhand game shop kinda. And I think they do have some firsthand stuff too, but like it's mostly like trade in your stuff and get new stuff, and we'll resell the old stuff, you feel? So, we went to Disc Traders, and I wasn't planning on getting anything. I was like, I'm good, I'm fine, I don't need anything. Just, she wanted to get Tomodachi Life, and they did not have it there. But they did have a game that I grew up with that brought me intense nostalgia. This game is called Mario and Sonic at the Olympic 2012. No, Olympic 2010 Winter Games. 2012 was the next game that I owned, but I didn't like that one as much. Anyway, can you hear me back here? I don't know what this picks up. I just dropped my pencil. Anyway, so I bought the game. It was $8. It was a huge steal. It's 9 years old now, almost 10. God. I didn't like that. It's an old game. It's not a, like, retro old game, but, like, it's getting there. Jesus. Dang. But I got it. I had to. Because I poured my soul into that game when I had it. I was 2010, so I would have been 9 years old when I got it. Ish. So I had the game probably from age 9 to about 12 at the oldest. I didn't have it for 3 years is kind of a long time, but I didn't have it for super long. I got the game. I played the story mode 100% completion. I had it wasn't 100%. I didn't have all of the gallery stuff because I didn't collect all the moonstones for Rouge, but I had all the quests done. I had all the worlds unlocked and all the characters and everything. Not like it's super hard, but I had everything pretty much done. I played that all the time, and I had a ton of high scores on like every event. I would always get first and gold medals and make new records, and I'm still pretty good at the game. Not as good as I was. It has been a hot second since I've played it. I can usually after a playthrough or two get like first place in the hard level. Like, I'm not awful at the game. I still know most of it. There are games that I cannot get first on. I don't remember what it's called. It's the very first skiing game. It's the first one in the list. I don't remember what it's called. You go between these little signs, and you, like, follow this really windy path, and your goal is to get down to the finish as soon as possible, and you can either swipe down to, like, add speed, but also going not through the middle of the signs, but actually hitting a sign, like, gives you a speed boost. So you're like, ooh, I want to do that, right? Except it's super easy to start missing things when you keep trying to swerve toward the middle of something, and then you're, like, way over here, and you're like, oh, I have to be back over here to get on the track. It's crazy. It's awful. I got, like, third place, which is one up from the worst, by the way. Like, it's not like, I got third place out of 10. Like, no, I got third out of 4th. That's my best on the hard score. But I have first place in the other two. Anyway, I got the game, obviously, and I was like, aw, yeah. I also had to get a charger because my old one doesn't charge. It's much shorter than my old one. My old one was cool, but yeah, I'm super excited. I've started the very, very, very beginning of the story mode. I haven't even gotten details yet, and y'all probably don't even, like, know what that means. You're like, what? But the first character you collect is either Tails or Luigi, because obviously you feel. And you need Tails to open this little broken gate, because he's a mechanic. So I'm super, super excited to be playing it again. It was awful when I lost it. That's why I don't have the game anymore. I lost it. I thought I lost it on the bus, because I used to take my DS on the bus. Obviously, all kids did it in fucking 2010. Oh, I'm sorry. My aunt/cousins watched this, and they were like, "You swear a lot," and I'm like, "I'm sorry." But I used to take it on the bus, and I'd play it all the time, and I guess it dropped out of my bag or something. You can hear the sleep in my voice. Oof. But then my sister found it, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and we knew it was mine because it had both mine and Van's save files on it. And then I lost it again, and I have no idea where it is now. So I got a new game. It's kind of sad to, like, start all the way from the beginning. Like, I feel like it would have been really fun to, like, see how I compare to my old self, play over some of that ghost data you feel. That's, like, I don't know if you can kind of glean what that is, but ghost data is in the game. It'll save kind of your best performance of an event. Say you made a new record. You don't even have to make a new record. It's just your best playthrough, and you can go against yourself, your ghost of your first playthrough or your best playthrough. And I think it would be a lot of fun to, like, verse my 10-year-old self. Like, how cool is that? But I can't. The guy who had this before me, his name is Brett, and he's got a good amount of everything done. He didn't complete the whole game. There's a second part to the story mode, kind of. You have kind of all the characters. You've beaten Eggman and Bowser at this point, I think. Not completely, but you beat them the first time. You went through all of the different worlds or lands, and you beat everybody. And then you get these green signs, which is pretty far in the game. Like, that's a hefty, like, amount into the game. So I'm like, I could just start here. I could just change his name and everything and go against his files, which I think would be a lot of fun. But I'm also kind of like, this is somebody else's game. Should I relive it? So I kept Brett's information, and I made myself one over Tia's, because Tia hasn't touched hers since 2011, and it had almost nothing on it. So I was like, okay, bye Tia. Time to get Brett. And I don't know. They will show us how we compared to me and Brett. Whoever Brett is, we buddies now. But I don't know. It's exciting. If I get tired of trying the brand new story mode again, because I've already done all of this, then I'll just use Brett's and get him to completion, I guess. But I think I'll like redoing it. Like, for the nostalgia factor, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I remember this. And it could maybe get me back into, like, instead of just playing the same round over and over again until I get a gold medal on hard, it could get me back into naturally getting better at these games again. But I don't know. It's whatever. So I guess that's kind of the most interesting thing that's happening to me. Well, sorry, I got a message. I have 10 minutes. Nice. I didn't think I had that long. Like, I looked at it and I was like, 14 minutes have already gone by. But then I was like, oh, wait, that means I still have 10. That means I only used 10 to talk about my boy Sonic. Oh, okay, I should continue, I guess, on this subject, because I might as well. This is the longest I feel like I've ever stayed on a subject, which I think kind of shows, like, how obsessed I was with this whole thing when I was a kid. Sonic was my life. Like, hands down. No, everything was Sonic. Everything. I would shop in the boys section, which, you know, in some ways I'm like, ooh, early signs of transgenderness, but I'm literally sitting in front of you with my face done up in makeup and, like, gender is fake. But yeah, I would shop in the boys section looking for Sonic shirts. I would collect the little figures. I have one of them that my boo Sierra got me for my more recent Christmas or birthday present. Not like last year recent, but more recent after I got out of it. And I can't throw it away because I love her. But I used to have a bunch of figurines, and I had a giant Tails, who was my obsession, and giant Amy plushie. They were like that big. They were big boys. And I had a bunch of shirts. I had games. I didn't have all the games. I actually had more of the classic games than I had the more recent games. I had like the Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 1, 2, and 3. I had like a combo pack or whatever. And I have Sonic Generations. I have not played it at all. Like, I don't even know if I've opened it up. I might have, but like I have not played it. I don't remember a single thing about it. It's for the 3DS too, so I got it kind of recently, like not super recently, but like I got it. I know where it is. It's in the little bag up here. That's Zekrom. He's right here. Boop, boop, boop. Right behind that wig. So I don't know. But, like, that's that and the Sonic 2010 and 2012 games, which is, like, a Mario Sonic thing, are the kind of, like, my most recent Sonic games. I never got Sonic Colors. I never got Sonic Unleashed. I don't think you can get that for DS anyway. But, I never got really any of the, the current ones, which is super weird because, like, my introduction to Sonic was Sonic X. In first grade, my friends... Like, one of my friends at the time, I was an enigma of a child. Like, when I look back at myself, I'm like, that's a little boy. How did I not know? But I had, like, mostly masculine friends, and we played Pokemon and Sonic on the playground. This was in Stockbridge. Not all of you know who that is, or where that is, or whatever, but my family does, and my family watches this, so yeah. He had a Tails plush, and I was like, oh, that's super cute. And I was like, is Tails a boy or a girl? Like, I don't know why it mattered to me. I was 7, 8 maybe, and the guy went, it's a girl. Not a girl, by the way. Tails is very much a man. He's just young and hasn't hit puberty yet, so he sounds a little bit like a female. Give him some credit. But I was like, oh yeah, nice. I like this. I'm gonna be him. And so I went and I was like, okay, well, I want you to tell me a little more about Tails. Because I just had this fascination. I was just like, oh, I like him. And they were like, there's also this girl, her name is Amy, she's pink. And I was like, I love pink. I mean, that hasn't changed. But I was like, oh, I love pink. But, like, I just had this draw to Tails. I was just like, no, I like Tails. I'm going to be Tails. And then I was Tails until 6th grade. I was Tails. And I mixed in some Amy. My username on everything was Tails Rose on literally everything. Didn't ship the two. They were just my two favorite characters. They both had Z's for S's because I was a cool kid and I liked the letter Z, I guess. That's why my name is Zacharie. But it just became my life, and I don't remember where I was going with this. Oh, Sonic X. So the way he introduced it was obviously it was a more like recent Tails doll, which Tails doll is like a thing in the fandom. But it was a more recent design of Tails, I should say, instead of the classic design, which I did have a plushie for. I think I gave it away. I also used to... I'm living nostalgia. But from there, we moved away. And it didn't really fade per se, but I don't really remember getting into it in 2nd grade. I think I was more into like Shrek 2 in 2nd grade. But in 3rd grade, something happened and I started drawing. And once I started drawing, I had an OC, or an original character, called Emily. And she was my first ever OC, my first ever Sonic OC. I kept her dress for my most famous, not really famous, but my notorious Sonic OC. But she was my first. She was a fox. She had a red dress with a black belt, a thick black belt in the middle, like by her waist. You can't see my waist. By her waist, she had long wavy black hair. And she had, I think I kept her boots too. Like, I kept her outfit. I kept her. Her boots were long and white and up to her knees, and they had little black dots on the side, and they had little black straps on the toes. Well, I don't know if they would be straps per se, but there were little X's, and I loved them. I drew it all the time. And I drew her on everything, and she looked terrifying. I only drew her from the side. Well, like, her muzzle was facing the side, but her body was facing forward, kind of like an Egyptian. But she was my beginning, and then I started really, really getting into Sonic. I started watching Sonic X, and I watched the entire series, over the course of, a while, but, like, I watched it very diligently, and I watched it on YouTube, and then I started, like, collecting the games and stuff like that. I started getting some games and stuff. But that was my introduction. So, like, for me to have all these classic games was really strange. And, like, it's not that I didn't also get into the classics. Because I did. I absolutely loved everything Sonic, from the original series to the more recent ones. Sonic Boom is a little bit, it's funny, but I can only appreciate it in a satirical set. Like, what did they do to Knuckles? Is he okay? He has been hit a few too many times, I think, because something's going on, and it's bad. Oh god, there's so much wrong with that. There's so much wrong with Sonic Boom. It makes me laugh, but it's not good. Like, that's not canon. That's a YouTube series. That's not canon. But yeah, I loved, I didn't watch all of Sonic Underground. I didn't take too kindly to it. I was kind of like, I watched, like, Sonic the Hedgehog with, I think just Sonic the Hedgehog was with Sonic and Tails. With, like, Grinder and, oh boy, what's the other guy's name? I'm thinking of him. There's the monkey and his name is Coconuts. There's the blue one. He has little spinnies. That's Grinder. I don't remember the chicken's name. I'm flunking. I remember Sonic's middle name, Maurice, but I don't remember his name, which is super weird because I was like, that's something you should remember. It's something. I want to say it's not Clank. I know it's not Clank because I'm thinking about, like, Pokemon. Oh my god, what is his name? Hold on. Okay, sorry. I looked it up because it was bugging me. And it's not Grinder, it's Grounder. My bad, I'm gay. But the other one is Scratch, like Chicken Scratch, which I didn't get as a kid, but kind of excites me now. I'm like, that's funny. Anyway, I watched that one. I watched The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which I think is right. I might be mixing that up. But The Adventures had Sally Acorn and the French one, Antoine. I don't remember his last name. Antoine and Bunny Rabbit. I loved Bunny. Those ones. I liked that one a lot. I think I took a really big liking to Bunny. And then, of course, Sonic X. I think that's kind of, like, I still have the DVDs. Like, I had the DVDs of the classic Sonic things. Like, if I saw one, I was like, that's mine now. And even now, when I see one that I know I didn't own, I owned a lot of them, by the way. I owned probably three of the just the Sonic the Hedgehog with just Sonic and Tails. And, like, two, or maybe, yeah, I think that's right. I think I had 5 discs altogether. And I think one of them was Sonic Underground, I think. But, yeah, I had, like, a heck ton of Sonic stuff. I'm running out of time, but I still want to talk about Sonic, because I haven't reached my point yet. But, anyway, I don't know why I got the classic games and not the newer ones. Oh well. Anyway, revisiting this nostalgia has made me want to revisit my OCs, to revisit the fandom, but like yesterday as a joke, I was like, I'm gonna read Tales X Reader fanfiction for my younger self because my younger self was a hardcore. Like, you think hardcore is, no, I was hardcore, like crazy hardcore for Tales. I would never stop talking about it, first off. If you liked Tales too much, I would beat you up. If you didn't like Tales, I would beat you up. I got real passionate. I would spew random Tales facts randomly. I'd be like,
Tails' real name is Miles per hour, but they call him Tails. And he has an IQ of 400.
which, by the way, now that I'm older, I thought for the longest time that my IQ, which is around 120, 130, which I know is a big jump, but like, I took it when I was in like 6th grade and it was like, I've only taken online tests. You know how those are. But somewhere around there, I'm not dumb. But, growing up, learning that Tails has an IQ of 400 and Eggman has an IQ of 350. I know these things. Just go with me. I thought my IQ of 120 at the time was awful. I was like, I'm so stupid. But then I looked at like the after, like they were like going over the results or whatever, and they're like, you're in the above average category. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? So like, way to lie to me, Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. I thought I had to have an IQ of fucking at least 250 to be kind of cool. But no, I could be just fine with a third of what my childhood crush had. At the same time, though, it makes you feel really dumb. Ugh. I don't know. Now that I'm almost 19 and I'm thinking back and like, this is completely off topic. Well, it's not. It's still Sonic, but like, thinking back, I'm like, do I really want to entrust the world to a bunch of 16-year-olds? Tails is 8. And he's smarter than me. And I'm like, I'm a college student. And the most I do with my day is go to class and take a nap. Meanwhile, these 16-year-olds... Oh, well, Shadow's 50, but these 16-year-olds, these teenagers, they're out here heckin' saving the world. And I'm like, when I was 16, I was going through really awful depression, and I was on the wrong medication. I was sleeping all the time. If you had asked me at 16 to go save the world, I'd tell you no. Actually, I'd probably have a mental breakdown first because I think the world would rest in my hand and I'd be like, I cannot handle this, and then I would go to take a nap. Like, find someone else. Oh my god. It's just those weird things that you get when you're older. You're like, oh, you're 16. I'm older than you. You're a baby. It's like when you're 10, like I was, you're like, oh my gosh, Sonic is 16. He's so old. It's weird. And like, if I were like, I love Tails now, it would be like creepy and gross. Which, I mean, I'm not like, Tails holds a soft spot in my heart. For a while, I was like, I don't like Tails at all. I'm embarrassed. But he holds a soft spot. Like, when I see him, I'm like, aw, I remember you. That's cute. But like, I'm not really so much like I would make out with Tails and I want to be his partner. Like, no thanks. He's baby and I like him. I appreciate him. I think I would still... I don't think I'd be awful going as, like, being recognized as Tails, because it was just such a big part of my identity for so long. But, it ain't like that now. He's cute. I appreciate him. We bros. But I kind of grew up to be more of a Knuckles person. Which is not, like, that makes me sound like, ooh, now I like Knuckles. That's not exactly it. I don't know why that matters. It does to me because Sonic meant so much to me, and I feel like I have to defend myself. No, I just turned into somebody that Knuckles would be seen with, I guess, which is completely weird. Because if you know anything about Tails, why did this whole thing end up being about Sonic? I hate that. If you know anything about Tails, he's small and soft and gentle and baby. And I love him. He's precious. And Knuckles is not. Knuckles is hot-headed and listens to hip-hop, or at least according to the one rap song that says, unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle, or whatever that was. I never ended up finding the original. Oh my god. To that. But, he's more hot-headed. He probably would swear more. And I'm just over here spitting, like, swear words left and right, bumping Nicki Minaj. Like, we'd get along. Which is weird. And, like, when I was young, I used to make fun of Shadow all the time, because I was like,
Oh, you're an yucky old man edgelord. Everyone that likes you likes old men.
and now I'm like, man, I'm an old man now. I'm not 50 old, thank God, but I'm old now. I'm older than Sonic, and that's too old. I shouldn't have lived this long. That's not a suicide joke, I promise. Okay. I think I've talked about Sonic for plenty of time. Plenty. There is so much more I could disclose to you. But I'm already 6 minutes over the limit I set for myself, and nobody wants to sit through that long of a Sonic talk. Oh my god. I can't believe that my whole talk was Sonic. That's awful. I could have gone over anything, but I was like,
Sonic the Hedgehog. But
anyway, I'm gonna get Mark now, I guess. And these are gonna be separate videos, so
stay tuned. Bye.